Hi there, I'm Ben Clarke from Series 5 of The Apprentice. This week we're in Dublin and we're going to be talking about Task 2 of the Junior Apprentice. So, last week, let's recap. Lord Sugar, the headmaster, expelled the only Irishman, Jordan de Courcy. Nightmare for us. And then in the boardroom, Rhys and Tim both got put in report. Zoe went straight to the top of the class with her outstanding selling skills. So this week, Lord Sugar called the candidates to the Isle of Dogs to an urban farm. You could just see the look of delight on Tim's face, thinking he was going to get a sheep-based task, but unfortunately not. Lord Sugar came up with a brand new one for them. They had to come up with an original piece of camping equipment. Not only that, they had 48 hours to get it made into a prototype and then pitch it to 3 major UK camping retailers. Do you go camping?
I do go camping, and when you think of festivals, you think of a capsule wardrobe and a rucksack.
So after a quick switch around from Lord Sugar, Hannah ended up leading the boys team, and Adam, the guy who sells camping equipment online, ended up leading the girls team. Hannah wanted to lead because she's an inventor and apparently she's good at coming up with ideas. But realistically, that didn't actually happen. And it was Tim, again, who's coming up with the good ideas for the team. Tim sort of pushed through this idea of a sled that could carry camping equipment at festivals. I thought it was a great idea personally, as opposed to the idea that the other team led by Adam came up with: cardboard, in a field, water, at a festival. Ludicrous. Hi there, how are you doing? So you watched the Junior Apprentice last night?
Yeah, I did, I enjoyed it actually.
Yeah?
Quite good, yeah.
So what do you think of this year? Obviously there's kids in it. Do you think the kids are better than the adults?
Yeah, I think they're very entrepreneurial, yeah. I think they're great. It's nice to see some young kids actually with some great ideas.
Okay, so I'm here on the banks of the Liffey in Dublin with Noreen Kelly from Big Brother. We're going to talk about the Junior Apprentice this week. So do you think Tim put the idea forward? Do you think Tim basically kept the team afloat?
Yes, I definitely think Tim came up with the idea, and he did really well as well, because the camping idea for pulling the sleigh thing was amazing.
So what did you think about Hannah as a team leader? She had to lead the boys this week.
Yes, I definitely think Hannah did very, very badly, and I think Tim had to come up with the idea, so he helped her along, and I think Arjun did really well by pitching the idea, so I think there's no point of Hannah even being a team leader.
What did you think of Hannah as a project manager?
I thought she did really, really, really good. I like the idea she came up with it all on her own, but yeah, I thought it was.
Do you think Tim possibly carried their team, because it was his idea to come up with
Yeah,
that sled?
I thought he did well, but I mean, I think he kind of bottled it in the end. So I think,
on the pitching.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about the sledge. Unfortunately, Arjun and Rhys's market research kind of fell on deaf ears, but by the same measure, they came up with a semi-decent product. Personally, I would have listened to them and I would have made sure that it was waterproof. I also might have made sure that it was a little bit more flexible. Something like a hard rubber that could have been rolled up, maybe with some holes in the side, could have put a tarp over the top and some bungee cords, would have been absolutely ideal. Nonetheless, they took 3,100 orders and absolutely thrashed Adam's team. Okay, so we're still in Dublin and we're just off Grafton Street. I'm joined by one of Ireland's biggest models, Georgia Selpa. When she's not gracing the fronts of magazines, she's out here shopping and she's going to talk to us about the Junior Apprentice today. How are you doing, Georgia?
Hi, how are you?
So what did you think of Hannah as a team leader?
I think she's good, but she didn't assert herself very well. Tim kind of took over.
Yeah, well, he was the one that came up with the idea of the sled in the first place. And last week, you know, he came up with the Credit Crunch lunch as well, so he seems to be a bit of an ideas man, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah. Do you think he could go far?
Yeah, I think he could, yeah, I think he's really good.
So let's talk about Adam. He was leading the girls' team, a real daunting task for a 16-year-old boy, but realistically, because he sells camping equipment, he should have taken to this task like a duck to a puddle at Glastonbury. Do you remember back to when you were 16, how would you have liked to lead a team of
girls.
5 hardcore business girls?
It wouldn't have went well, I'd say, anyway. You know, he did a lot better than I would have.
No, Adam obviously is quite the chauvinist. He made a few remarks last night about men being better business people than women. What do you think about that?
I disagree totally, obviously. You know, I think it's 50-50. I work with quite a few girls and they're all pretty competent. You know.
Back to the boardroom, and despite a few imperfections, Insight Sled managed to take 3,100 in orders, which was just phenomenal, as compared to Revolution's 0 orders from all 3 major retailers. an absolute disaster and an absolute wipeout. So we get to the stage where Adam has to decide who he's going to bring back into the boardroom. Well, realistically, in my opinion, it should have been Emma. And Hibah, understandable, yes, but definitely not Zoe. Now, here's the big question, I suppose. Do you think the reason that Adam didn't bring Emma back into the boardroom is because there's maybe a little thing going on there?
I don't know, I mean, they're all quite good looking, so you never know.
Maybe, yeah, but you know, at that age, the hormones are running wild. I suppose to be up to all sorts. But who knows?
Oh, what you mean, like having an affair or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
I know she's quite hot, isn't she?
Yeah, she's good looking.
She's not bad, yeah. She's alright. I think I have an affair with her.
Why not if it's on the table? Okay, so at the end of week 2, we've lost Jordan, and now we've lost Hibah. So 8 candidates remain, and I'm going to give you my rundown. At number 8, we've got Hannah. Yes, she won the task, but I think Tim carried her there, and I didn't really see that much from her. At number 7, really down in my estimations, Emma, with that terrible cardboard idea. At number 6, it's Arjun the Margin. He's smart on figures. He seemed to pitch all right once he picked it up, but he's been keeping his head down. At number 5, let's talk about Adam. Yes, he had a bit of a shocker this week, but his real life business experience and his grovelling really carried him through. At number 4, we've got Rhys. He's kind of outspoken, but you know, has he really got anything? Time will only tell. Number 3, Kirsty, seems savvy. She seems switched on. She puts her opinions across. She doesn't really seem to do anything that would suggest she doesn't use common sense. So I think she's quite strong. At number 2, it's our ideas man, it's Tim. Every week he's coming up with new stuff. He's doing well, but is his execution good enough? Which brings me to this week's number 1. It's got to be Zoe. She sold well, very well last week, and she pitched even better this week. Zoe is definitely my number 1 for this week, and she's my tip for the win at this stage. Join us next week when we're going to be in Edinburgh, and next week's task is cupcake making. I think it's going to be kind of like our soap task last year. It's going to be exciting. So check out my Twitter, Ben_Apprentice, and my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Ben Clarke Apprentice, for updates on what's happening next week and for further opinions on all the candidates.
See, middle of the range enthusiasm. Sort of what you were doing before.
So back to the boardroom, the most exciting bit of The Apprentice.
Making money's better than sex.